What's going on, everybody? Brian from Slinging Sticks Adventures, and today we're going to go over my EXO 6400 K3 backpack. We're going to run over a bunch of different things, kind of how I set it up, where I put certain items and why, and we'll get started. So this is an EXO pack. Just to be clear, I'm not affiliated with anybody. I have no sponsorships or ties to anybody. Nobody's gear that's in this bag I have no affiliation with. But it's a K3 6400. I get easy 10-12 days, and if I'm doing it right, I can get a 14-day out of it. It's a pretty sturdy pack, pretty comfortable. I've tried a bunch on the market, and it's great. It's made in the U.S. It's actually made in Boise, Idaho, so at least they're American made. We're going to go over a few things besides the pack real quick. Start with the hip belt. So we got my hip belt down here. This is my water bottle holder, but it holds my Grail, which is my water purification bottle. Typically when I go into areas, I'll probably fill this up with water and maybe one other Nalgene, and just kind of keep my water weight pretty low. So that way this is pretty handy. It's right there. I can pull it out if I come across a spring or a creek or something like that. I can knock out some water real quick and keep rolling. So that's on my left side. On my right side, I have my 10mm handgun. This is a Glock 20 SF. This comes with me on almost every hunt. And if you guys want to know about this holster, good luck, because I've had it for, I don't know, 1,000 years. It just fits. It's just a leather holster. I think it's made, it's so worn down, I don't know the name of it. Anyways, it's just a leather holster with a snap clip for retention. That's all it is. We'll go back to this side. I have my Nalgene bottle. And I do carry 2 tourniquets. You never know, and I'd rather have it. They don't weigh nothing. If you have the training to use them, I would suggest carrying them. Things can happen out there, and this could potentially save your life. You know, you stick your leg, you break your leg or something, you got a trekking pole or an ice axe or something you can take apart. You can run these as splints to keep it stable. There's a bunch of different uses for them if you're knowledgeable in these. So that's what's in that pocket there. And I always keep those pretty accessible for obvious reasons. On the other side, I have another Nalgene bottle. And I have a titanium cup. It's pretty tight fit with the bag pack, but it is in there. Anyways, there's a titanium cup in there. Don't really need quick access to that. The cup does fit inside my Nalgene bottle, so that's like my camp cup. We'll move back to this side. My ice axe, it's a Black Diamond. I showed a video in it, I talked about it in a previous video, so feel free to go check that out. Super handy tool. I wish I would have learned about them a lot sooner, because it does make sleeping on crappy ground pretty nice. I do have another Black Diamond trekking pole, so I have a trekking pole and an ice axe, and that's about it. And for most of the stuff, you can get away with just an ice axe. But I use my trekking pole sometimes to set up my tarp and things like that. On this side, I've got my tripod. I've got my tent poles and stakes for my Kifaru Sawtooth. Just a quick thing on that. That is probably my favorite tent, and I do run it solo most of the time. I know it's a big tent to do that in, but it's just real nice. feel like you're coming back to like a small cabin. All right, we'll go to the front here, kind of knock out all this stuff. Got my glassing pad and the hip pouches that normally come on the hip sides. I've taken those off and put them on the back. This top one's got my compass, some electrolytes, both my headlamps. And again, most of the items that are on the outside of the pack are things that I may need in a hurry or quickly. So just kind of think about how you're going to place your items in your bag and kind of organize it for you to best fit your needs. And the bottom one is my fire kit. I've got a lighter, some trioxane tablets, and some paracord in there. Real basic stuff. Obviously, you know, bad weather comes in or something like that, you got to knock down a fire real quick. Your quick access. You're not digging through your bag and stuff like that to try and find that stuff. So let's go ahead and we'll kind of open this thing up a little bit. Start with, so this pack has a stuff pocket in the very front. In there I keep my beanie and my solar panel. So this is a Goal Zero solar panel. It's got a charging cord in the back of it already hooked up. My beanie, just a fleece beanie. I also have probably one of the most important things in here, some Mountain Money, and then my battery. This is just one of the smaller batteries. I can charge my cell phone and my two headlamps. They are both rechargeable. I can charge both headlamps and my cell phone to about 50% with one battery. So that's how much power this little dude's got. This is called the Venture 30. And that's it. More toilet paper. Can't have enough of that. So, got over that. We'll flip her around real quick. We'll go inside what's in this zipper here. So it is flagged. It's the only orange marker that is on a zipper on my bag. And this is my first aid kit. It's pretty Spartan. I mean, it's not real big. I've got some QuikClot in there. And then this is kind of, I took this package and dumped some of this stuff out. This was a Med Kit 0.7 from Adventure Medical. I just took most of that stuff out and kind of built my own and just used this bag because it's waterproof. I got some tape in there, some Ranger pills, if you will, and then some cream for burns, some alcohol wipes, some sutures, and gauze. That's about it, along with the QuikClot. That's in there. Inside the second part of the lid, I've got my Kifaru pullout. This has got all my water stuff in it. It's got my Aquamira drops. It's got my Sawyer squeeze bag. And it also has a backup string for my recurve and a ceramic rod for sharpening broadheads in the field or your knife, either way. This I purchased at Rocky Mountain Specialty Gear in Colorado. You guys can order them online or call them direct. They have a bunch of these in there. This is a Arkansas ceramic rod, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it was called. Works great for touching up your broadheads and your knives. Super light, doesn't weigh anything. This whole bag is super light. Doesn't weigh hardly anything. This is a MSR reactor stove. Just got this year. I was running a Jetboil for a long time. This thing is way more efficient. Heats up the water, I think, a lot faster and does a way more better job than the Jetboil does, especially if you have to melt snow for water or something like that. This is your cat here. I don't condone this or recommend it, but you can crank this baby on inside like a standalone tent, and you can heat your tent up pretty quick with this. Be careful, don't burn yourself down if you do decide to do that, but it works great as a buddy heater. Last but not least, titanium spork from Sea to Summit. That's tried and true. It's all you really need for most of your stuff. So there's that. So the lid's knocked out. Getting inside the top lid here, this is a roll top. I've got a sweatshirt and a synthetic puffy. This is stuff that I pretty much keep with me year round. Wintertime, both of these go. Summertime, one or the other is going to go. This is typically right now a winter bag setup, so keep that in mind. Five days worth of food, peak refuel, and then some finger stuff in there. That's a whole nother video, but medium box stove from Kifaru. The sawtooth, it's super small, compacts right down into this. It's pretty easy to set up, especially once you get familiar with it. And I can't really recommend it enough, especially for those later hunts in the year when the weather really starts to fly. This is in my bag for sure, not even a question. This is my clothing bag. I got my Super Downs in there, 2 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of underwear, and some light base layers in there. And this is my sleeping kit. I've got a Stone Glacier Chilkoot 0 degree bag, a ground pad from Thermarest. I think the R value on it is 3.7, and then a Sea to Summit pillow and a footprint for my ground pad to go on. And if you've noticed, most of my stuff is in these dry bags here. And I color code them, right? This is my sleeping kit. I just look in there, see blue, pull that out. I need my clothes, it's in green, I pull that out. Same with my food. My food's in an orange one. You don't have to do the color coding, but it makes it a little bit easier. Especially when you have your stuff laid out and you're kind of looking at what you got and, oh, I need to grab that, make sure I put that in there and layer it in there. So something to think about. I would always recommend putting something inside of a bag. That way it's kind of contained in your bigger compartment and it's organized and you got all your stuff in one thing. Like sleeping kit, just grab the blue bag. It's got everything in there that I could possibly need. My clothing bag, same thing. Has it all in there. Food bag, obviously same thing. That should do it for the inside compartment. One thing that I did forget to mention earlier is right here at the back of the top of the pack, there's another zipper. It's their hydration pouch. I don't use bladders or anything like that, but I do use it for quick access to my rain gear. You never know when you might need that stuff, especially in the later season. So that's the first thing I pull out of there. Poop, is my rain jacket. This is from Kryptek. Don't really know what the model is here. It's their heavier duty rain jacket. I don't know what it is called. Anyways, so that's in there. And then I have my bladders. This is all my camp stuff. When I get to camp and I get set up, I go and fill these up. This is a 4, that's a 4, and this is a 2. I like to have at least 10 liters of camp water ready to drink when I come back from my hunts. Just a quick little deal. This here is a filter that I just have attached to this in case of an emergency. I break the other one or I lose it or something like that. It doesn't weigh anything. Just put that on there and you got water no matter what. So there's my bladders. And then the last thing in there is my rain pants. They are at the bottom because I rarely use them. I've been debating just taking them out completely, but we'll see. Tripod, it's just a cheap one. It's Vortex High Country. It's worked for me. I've had it for a long time. Don't have any issues with it. Works. Trekking poles. I believe that is it. That's it. That's everything in the pack. Yeah, that's it. So if you guys have any questions on the products that I showed you guys today, let me know in the comments. I'll go over them a little bit more in depth. But that's kind of how I set up my backpack. And just remember, kind of want the lightest stuff at the bottom or the fluffiest stuff, right? Like your sleeping kit, your clothes maybe, and then your heavier items, maybe heavier items like my stove and my tent. Those kind of go right there, and then my food typically goes on top. And then I will layer that with my clothes. So I kind of keep most of the weight at like 70% on my back. It just feels the best for me when I'm going through the mountains. A little bit more stable. It's a lot more comfortable. A lot of people will put the weight at the very top, and that's totally fine. Just kind of figure out what works for you. When you are setting up your bag, though, think about things that you might need to access quickly, right? Water, you're probably gonna want to be able to access your water kit for whatever reason. Maybe your headlamp, maybe your toilet paper, stuff like that. Just think about where you're gonna place them on your bag. That way you're not rifling through your bag to find whatever you need. So helps keep it a little bit more organized and more efficient for your travels. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And please like and subscribe. And if you would, share this video. I'll see you guys next time.